You were talking about some of the instances of people who were unforgiven in a real sense. Let's pick it up there and talk about some of the activities that you wish to address.
Right. We had said that many of the persons that perpetrated violence against, wanton violence against innocent persons, I believe, were suffering from an intense desire to get even or to get revenge. I think the motive of revenge is often the inside, the driving motive behind a lot of violence between one person and another.
Get even.
The motive is to get even. Oftentimes the person has been mistreated or abused. As a matter of fact, there's evidence now that children who are abused and as well as teenagers who abuse, as adults, they're more likely to be abusive. So oftentimes a perpetrator of violence has been a victim of violence early on in his life. And so it's very important then, if a person has been mistreated in their past, if they've been taken advantage of in childhood, in their teenage years, or in the context of their interpersonal relationships, it's very important that that person clean house in terms of forgiving the people that have hurt them in the past, whether they're living or passed on. Because otherwise that rage, that bitterness can be displaced onto someone who is very, very innocent, and the person then can act in a violent way. So it's very important that we confess our wrongdoing, number one, ask God to forgive us for our wrongdoing, and that we make an effort to turn away from repeating that kind of behavior. But it's also important that we forgive others who have harmed or hurt us, because by confessing our wrongdoing, turning away, and by forgiving others who have hurt us, it allows us then to receive the forgiveness that comes from God. And so that's the best way to forgive oneself, is one, to confess one's wrongdoing. The Bible says if we confess, God is faithful and just to forgive us. And also the Bible says if you forgive your brother, then God is faithful to forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive your brother, then God will not forgive you. So just imagine then, if we taught science-based forgiveness in our public schools, if there were more emphasis placed on forgiveness in our homes. I think a lot of parents say, if he hits you, hit him back. Okay? Or if he hits you, or if he bullies you, act as if you're unafraid. But how many times do we in our homes tell our children, our grandchildren, if somebody starts bothering you, put them on your prayer list. Ask God to help you to forgive them. How many times do we say that? Suppose we were to begin to emphasize forgiveness, I think that would help to reduce violence tremendously. Suppose in our public schools, as I said, if we begin to teach science-based, not religion-based, but science-based forgiveness.
Now, when you say science-based forgiveness, Dr. Poe, exactly what?
Okay. In other words, if we begin to share with